including Mr. Bansalji, who has taken the efforts of giving us the excellent hospitality. Thank you very much. And I will now pass it on to my friend Vijay Shani to take on the technical aspects of the XBRL filing, because he is from WEBTEL ELECTROSOFT PVT Limited, where the tools are being used for mapping, validating, and also creating an extended tagging. And also they come across so many actual conversions and tagging. And with his practical knowledge, he can actually take us through the technical aspects of XBRL filing. Over to Vijay.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for an enlightening session from you. A lot of doubts which professionals must be having before this seminar must have come to an end by now. I will be taking upon different aspects, technical aspects, which professionals will be facing at the moment. First of all, we have to understand that when XBRL is before us and we have to implement it within our own organization or with the companies which for which we are performing different professional jobs, we have to look into the different approaches which are available. There are three different approaches which we can adopt. One is bolt-on, built-in, or outsource. I will by now everybody is having a fair idea about how the XBRL was implemented last year. So I will be briefly touching upon the different advantages of these three approaches. Bolt-on means that okay, we are not having a inbuilt system, and we are having a ERP system or accounting system in place in the organization, and we develop a separate software which will assist in integrating the two. And the advantage will be that okay, we will be passing all the entries in the accounting system, and the data will be flowing directly to the XBRL, and no additional effort has to be taken care by the organization. Obviously, there are pros and consequences about this. Pros will be it will be faster, you will be having great controls, and it will you will reduce the dependence on the third parties. And obviously, disadvantage will be soft of such softwares are very, very high, and training on the software also take a lot of times, and the total time frame available to any of the organization is very, very limited. So we have to see to it that which approach we should follow. Second is built-in. Okay, we integrated with the software, and other approaches that okay, we purchase the software, get the output from the ERP system, and then we can punch the data there. Now obviously, now outsourcing, there is a great opportunity available to the chartered accountants and the fellow professionals as far as the outsourcing is concerned. What are the pros and consequences? That obviously we have to plan how we have to execute the outsourcing work, and obviously we can outsource the work, but we can't outsource the responsibility. We can't outsource the responsibility. That is very, very important. And then we have to see whether we are having a control over the data. As far as the listed companies are concerned, secrecy of data is very, very important. Then, and all the other annual filings have to be done in the same time. So we have to manage the entire calendar very efficiently. So what is the implementation approach which we have? I will just run through these slides. Now, before we purchase a software, there are different softwares available in the market. So what are the qualities of the good software? It should be having a simple interface. It should be Excel base. Excel base means that all the final accounts generally are prepared in Excel. So it should be capable enough that okay, it imports the Excel file and then we can start the mapping. It will help in reducing the errors which can occur while mapping the data, and it should have some inbuilt validations. very simple inbuilt validations. Say for example, the assets and liability side is not matching. At least it should give the alert that okay, these two sides are not matching. Other than that, if the total of the two balance sheet and its schedules or notes are not tallying, then it should give an alert, and it should provide us with all the elements which will tell us that okay, these are the mandatory elements which need to be incorporated while doing the XBRL tagging. So these inbuilt validations, if they are available, will have a great help to the professionals. These are the different softwares available in the market. Now, once we are through with the tagging, what is the process? Then there is just one single taxonomy available. We browse the taxonomy, and then mapping management has to be done. After that, we will do the validation using the XBRL validation tool, and then instance document has to be generated. And then now if we go into the details about different technicalities which are to be known by the professionals, whenever there is a new technology or new filing which is coming our way, we always tend to ask a question whether we need to know, yeah, email, I'm using mobile phones, but I don't need to know what technology is being used behind these scenes. But if we are able to know something more about these, obviously our work will become that much more easier. So let's try and understand few of the terminologies used in XBRL tagging. First is tag. This is the most commonly used item or the terminology used in XBRL tag. It represents a line item, and each line item represents a concept. Concept means sundry debtor is a concept to us, fixed assets is a concept to us. Whenever anybody says okay, sundry debtors, we understand okay, these are the amount which are to be received from our clients. It provides the definition, label, reference, and time period. Okay, debtors for 2011 or debtors for 2012. Each tag is having a opening tag and a closing tag. This is the opening tag, and this is the closing tag, and this is the slash which separates them. In the opening tag you won't be having this slash, and in the closing tag you are having this slash. And software can easily identify these tags, and once used can be used always. Now if I write the name and address of my company, WEBTEL ElectroSoft, this is the address, and on the right hand side you can see that okay, name WEBTEL ElectroSoft, and then address, and everything, both are very readable. But say for example, if I am having the list of 5,000 clients in a Word file, and I ask you that okay, sort it out city wise or state wise or zone wise, it will be very difficult and a mammoth job for us. But say for example, if we are having the same data in Excel, you will say okay, it is a job of 1 second. I will just put filter and I can extract the data very easily. What is the reason? Because in Excel you are having your data in rows and columns. Similarly, when we put all the data in tags, it is very easy for the ministry or for the shareholders or for the stakeholders to pull that data very easily, and they can compare the two datas. Okay, if I want to pull the data of all those companies who are having paid up capital of more than 1,000 crores and their management, if they are drawing salaries more than 50 crores, they can easily pull the data because it is in a structured manner, right? Now some more information about the tag. Say tag is having a label, say sundry debtor, and the element, that is other trade receivable, is the element which will be unique throughout the taxonomy. Then what is the data type? It is monetary data type. We all know that sundry debtor is having a data type of debit. Instant means that okay, this is a balance sheet item. And definition, if a layman wants to understand what do you mean by sundry debtors, he can go to the definition and okay, it is the amount due from the customers. And what is the relationship? It is directly related to the current assets. Similarly, if we move to the taxonomy, I'm trying to skip few slides which so that it should not be very confusing for the members. So to understand simply what is a taxonomy, it is a collection of tag, and we can compare a tag to a word in a dictionary. So it is a presentation of elements, and taxonomy is always based on some of the standards. It can be IFRS, it can be Schedule 6, and core taxonomy is created by the local XBRL jurisdiction, which is ICAI in this case. Now, taxonomy extension. What do you mean by taxonomy extensions? Say earlier when we used to see that, okay, bazaar, Brahmin, mantra, these words were not available in Oxford Dictionary. But with the passage of time, we have found that, okay, these words have also been used in Oxford Dictionary. What is the reason? Then they realize that, okay, now these words are used quite commonly. So even in US, they use, okay, what is the success mantra? So they have added that word mantra to the dictionary. Similarly, the business is always evolving. Say, for example, if new industries, new avenues are coming and new terminologies are used by the industry as such, so taxonomy is updated and upgraded, so extension is always required. But in US, they are using extensions, and because of extensions there are a lot of problems. UK is not using extension, and we are following the same module at the moment. So for the year 2012 as well, you won't be able to do the extensions. The same principle have been followed as were followed in the last year. Now, in the first year, to start with, when you submitted your XBRL document, you have submitted just one single document, which was a instance document. So you were providing a single XML file. No additional file was submitted by you. But otherwise, if this entire process would have been implemented in full force, then in that case you have to submit 5 files. One is the label file, second is the presentation file, then calculation file, and the instance document, and the schema. These are the 5 documents which you have to submit before any regulator. But in this case, we have to submit only the instance document. All other files are static and are standard files provided by MC. So let's try and understand what these all files are, and how this is going to affect our XBRL filing at the moment. Schema is the file which has the reference of all the files and defines the taxonomy elements, and give each concept a name and define the characteristics. Now, I'm skipping few of the slides so that it should not be confusing for you. Now, what is a label link based file? Label link based file means that there is a standard name available in the taxonomy, but I can be having my own way by which I can define that particular label. So, and then the technology permits that, okay, if I have tagged it once, so I will be able to view the same instance document or the same annual report in different languages. I can view it in Hindi, I can view it in English. So technology permits that. So I can be having what is the element name and what is the label I have used in my annual report. So if you can view this, accumulated depreciation on building, this is the element name, and the standard label name is accumulated depreciation building provided by MCA. But I can be having my Mera Wala label. I can be having, say, depreciation on building alone. I might not be using accumulated in my annual report. So I can change the label. So there is a file which is very important. That is a label file, will contain all the labels. But here we are having standard labels. So similarly, for gross block, what is the standard label going in the file? Secondly, reference link base, it will be giving you all sort of references that, okay, I have taken this concept from this accounting standard, this page number, this para number. They will be having all the references. Then presentation link base, it will provide you the hierarchy. How have we presented different elements in the annual report. This will be dealt in the presentation file. Say for example, in here we are having fixed assets, and after fixed asset we are having different class of assets, then land and building. What is the hierarchy? If we see the file of TCS, now here we are having, if we concentrate on the fixed assets alone, fixed asset, then gross block, accumulated depreciation, net block, and capital work in progress. If we see the presentation file, so same sequence will be followed in the presentation file. Then we are having a calculation link base. In the calculation link base, what we have is that okay, it defines the concept whether it restricts only to +1 and -1. If we say sundry debtors is equal to receivable minus provision, and it just expresses that okay, which items are to be added and which are to be deducted. Say here we are having gross block less accumulated depreciation, it is having a minus tag, and then accumulated depreciation and impairment. So say for example we are having gross block, it will be having 1 as the weight, and accumulated depreciation will be having -1. Say 1 crore is available in the gross block and 10 lakhs is available in accumulated depreciation, so it will be subtracted, and in the net block we will be having 90 lakh as the total value. So similarly same sequence will be followed in the calculation file also. And finally the instance document, it will be having all the facts and figures available in the instance document. It contains the data reports in the values and the context in which we are talking, whether it is for 2011 or 2012, documents created by the combination of actual financial data with the taxonomy, and it must be linked with the at least with the one taxonomy. At the moment, as far as the Indian scenario is concerned, we are having just one taxonomy, that is CNI taxonomy only. Then there will be separate instance document for balance sheet and the profit and loss account. So this is how the instance document will look like. So what should be the implementation approach? We got to identify a team, identify a good software, and then we start the complete mapping of data. Extensions, it is not available in the at the moment in India, so no need to do the extensions. Create the instance document, validate it, and then we complete the entire thing. Now what should be the approach? How should we take it forward? So what happens is that we are always involved in doing the financial reporting, and the filing is generally primarily done by the secretarial department, and there is no coordination between the two. So if we are heading the finance department of the company, so we have to coordinate with the secretarial department as well, so that there should be a proper coordination between the two departments. That is very, very important. These are few of the different books available on XBRL if you want to have some additional knowledge about it. So now I will be taking through the different aspects which we have observed, that okay, what are the different issues faced by different corporates in last year tagging. What should be the approach of quality tagging? That is very, very important. So in this we have got we need to see these different aspects, that it should be there should be completeness, correct mapping, accuracy, validation, and then we have to do the pre-scrutiny and these statements which have to be attached along with this. Now as far as completeness is concerned, all the important information needs to be mapped, and if there are some missing informations, it can mislead the stakeholders. There can be a case wherein we need to provide the board of directors reports, auditor reports, different other text block tags which are required to be given in the XBRL tagging. But what can happen? It can happen that okay, the company, if they are tagging just single 0 in the text block tagging, and they are not providing any information, obviously the entire idea of having this XBRL implemented will go haywire. So we have to see that we do the complete tagging, and all the important things which we have already provided in our annual report have to be tagged if a tag is available in the taxonomy. That is very, very important. Now correct tagging has to be done. That is also very, very important. Element informs the meaning of all the line items. All the definitions are provided and we have to go through it. Before we start tagging, at least we should know, okay, what are the elements available? And if we know the taxonomy well, then the tagging will be very, very easy for you. I will be showing you some of the practical examples which I have I've taken some certified copies from MCA portal and found that, okay, the quality of tagging was not up to the mark. And some of the tag, if it is not available, we have to use our professional judgment, and that is, things can be relative, but I can assure you 99.9% tags are already available. More than 3,500 tags are already available in the taxonomy. But if the exact tag is not available, then kindly select the next best and provide the information in the footnote that, okay, these are the reason why we have not used this particular tag and why we have used this particular tag. Now I will take some of the examples here. Now here we have got a schedule of from an annual report. This is a deferred tax liabilities. Now here we have got deferred tax liability. One is deferred tax liabilities, that is on accumulated depreciation, and other two aspects are provision of doubtful debts, and other one is retirement scheme expenses. Now if we see that in the XBRL tagging, the company has selected deferred tax liability on depreciation. Entire amount was tagged in deferred tax liability depreciation. And what are the appropriate tags which were available? There was deferred tax liability on assets and others. There was deferred tax liability asset provision on doubtful debts. Then there was deferred tax liability on depreciation. 3 different tags were available, and we were required to tag this particular schedule with 3 different tags. But what we have done, we have tagged it with a single value, and this will give a very misleading picture to our stakeholders. And if any stakeholder compares the 2 balance sheets, that is the annual report which he has received by post, or if because of any reason he needs to take a certified copy from the MCA portal and try to compare the 2 things, he will be in a confusion that whether this balance sheet is correct or this balance sheet is correct one. So this is very important, that the quality of tagging has to be ensured by the professionals. Now let's take few more examples. Now here we have got a schedule of investments, and clearly it has been shown here that, okay, in the joint venture we have invested equity of this much amount. If we can have the slide on the, so here we have, we have got investment in the equity shares, and now here we can see that equity securities, we have tagged it with the equity security long-term unquoted non-trade shares, right? And what is the appropriate tag available? Appropriate tag of investment in joint ventures is already available. So what sort of picture are we giving to our stakeholders that, okay, it is not for trade. We have invested in joint venture. It will not be liquidated in near term. So that is very important. So going forward, we have got this schedule wherein we are having packing material consumed, and we have tagged it with purchase of other material during the year. But the exact tag which was available in the taxonomy was purchase of packing material during the year. When an appropriate tag is already available in the taxonomy, so we have to select that particular tag only. We need to select the alternative tag only in case the appropriate and exact tag is not available. And if there are any confusion, kindly go to the definition. It will provide you the detailed definition. Okay, this is the detailed definition, whether it is falling in this particular tag or not. Now here, power and fuel. Generally what people used to do is power and fuel, let's tag it with electricity. Similarly here also it has been tagged with electricity expenses. And we are having a specific tag, cost of power and fuel. When a specific tag is available, I'm requesting again, then kindly use the appropriate tag only. Otherwise, in the first years, I think MCA will be very, very lenient. But in the time to come, I think we are not giving a correct and true picture in the XBRL document, though that it has been given properly in the annual report. But while converting it in XBRL, the things are going haywire. Similarly, advertising expenses, here you can see that it has been tagged with traveling and conveyance. There's no reason. There is no reason why it has to be tagged with traveling and conveyance. One more thing you can observe here is that figures are given in lakhs, that is 3668.52221. Only 2 decimal places are available to be given in XBRL tagging. You can give just 2 decimal places, but because people are not following the business rules, it is clearly written in the business rules that you can have just 2 decimal places, but people are using more than that, and it is not giving a correct picture. And if you are using more than 2 decimal places, what will happen is that particular file will not even be readable to you. Now here you can see traveling and conveyance. Traveling and conveyance is tagged with legal and professional charges, and a proper tag of traveling and conveyance is available to us. Bad debts. Bad debt has been tagged with other provision created. You will be saying, okay, other provision created is quite okay. But when a specific tag of bad debts, advance written off is already provided, kindly use the correct tag. Now this is a very, very important one. Now we are having a unsecured loans schedule here, having a total of 56,000 crores as a total figure. They are having unsecured loans from banks and then short-term loans from banks to the tune of 11,000 crores. Now here you can see they have tagged it with other debts unsecured. The person or professional might be saying that okay, other debt unsecured. If you are not able to find it, क्या करेंगे? Others में tag कर देंगे. Because that is very, very easy for us. But this is not the right approach. If you see the taxonomy, rupee term loan, bank, unsecured, a very, very specific tag has already been assigned for it. And we are using others. And sometime we will see that, okay, others ka figure ही सबसे बड़ा हो गया. So we should not follow that approach and we should be very, very cautious about it. Now here, interest accrued but not due on loan, 490 crores. It has been tagged with other